get pulled over for running the red light. So
still blaming that one on Dad, though.
Yep. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
He takes credit for it. He's like, yeah, that one's my fault, but the 4 other tickets are on you.
What's up, all you auto enthusiasts out there? Buckle up for a unique experience where we have customized vehicles and their owners share the spotlight in our studio. Have you ever seen a cool ride and wondered who the owner is or what the history is behind the build? On today's episode of Tailpipe Talk, we'll be speaking with Preston, which you can find on Instagram at Firebird_Camaro. We'll get to know more about Preston and his 2011 Camaro. Preston, welcome to the show, man.
Pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you on, man. It's about time, huh?
I know. It's only been like 2 months I've been waiting.
I know. Well, hey, before we jump into your Camaro build here, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'll be 18 in just about 2 weeks here. I just graduated high school.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's a big deal.
Appreciate it, yeah. So excited to just be done with it.
Yes, yes.
But, yeah, I've had this car for about 2 years, I think. Loving it so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, graduate high school. I've been living here since I was probably in about 5th grade.
Okay.
I was born in Sacramento, California, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm originally from California.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I didn't know that about you. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I only lived there for about a year.
Yeah.
And then I lived probably most of my childhood in Utah.
Okay.
So I lived in like Salt Lake City, Draper, and like Bountiful area.
Gotcha.
And then moved down here and have been down here ever since.
Very cool.
So,
very cool.
Definitely like it here a lot better.
It is pretty cool. I haven't been here nearly as long as you. We moved here in 2005. Well, I guess age-wise, I guess we have been here about the same.
Yeah.
Me actually a little longer. So we moved here in 2005. And, you know, having been in California all my life before that, short little couple years in Germany, but I mean, California born and raised, and coming here, I would have to say over the last 15 years, it's been a blessing. I mean, Texas is amazing. You know, we've got plenty of friends and family here now, roots, and it's crazy. It's crazy to think back. Like we'll travel to California, and it's just different.
It's really different.
It is so different. Yeah. Land. It seems like this is the land of opportunity as far as owning a business. Things are just more affordable.
Yeah.
All around.
Yeah.
All around.
And you would know because you're in real estate.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the houses that you see over here. I mean, even our house, nothing to write home about at all. But you take our house and you literally go put it in California. It's like $1.3 million, and it might be $400,000 over here, which is just crazy to think of just the difference, right? But let's get into this Camaro.
Yeah.
So you've had it for a couple of years, you mentioned.
Yeah.
So tell us about the whole transformation as far as what direction you want to go. Obviously, we see the Trans Am decals and stuff, which I dig that. And if people don't know, there is actually a company out there that converts these Camaros into Trans Ams. I mean, full-blown Pontiac Trans Ams, right?
Yep.
As close as they could get, anyway.
So they take. It's mainly 5th gen Camaros, just like this one. So they'll take a stock SS, and they'll add some performance upgrades to it. They'll supercharge it depending on what the customer wants. And I think it takes almost about a year to convert the whole thing.
Yeah.
So originally it was just one company doing it, but now there's a couple ones that all do their own variation of the Trans Am body style. But they totally outfit it. It's like all carbon fiber body, and they get the decals right, and they kind of do their own little modern twist to it. But they're cool.
They are. They really, really are. If you guys haven't seen it, just Google Camaro Trans Am or Firebird 5th gen, like Preston was saying. Excuse me? Hearst.
Yeah.
It is the Hearst Trans Am? Oh, okay. Hearst Trans Am. Plenty of pictures out there. it's really, really cool to see. So definitely, guys, check that out on Google. So tell us about the Camaro.
So, like I said, I've had it for about 2 years. This is still my first car. I got it. I picked it up for $8,500.
Oh wow!
I got it from a kid who plays football up at UNT.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to hang out with him.
Very cool.
this
Very
week.
cool.
So I bought it from him. Less than 5 minutes after driving it away, I get a ticket. Got a ticket 5 minutes after I bought it.
Wow.
Right out of the parking lot.
Speeding?
No, I ran a red light.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and just kind of getting used to the car, and the cop was already kind of following me.
Yeah.
So then he busted me when I was going through the red.
He cut you no slack for just buying your first car?
Nope.
Dang.
Nope. And I was
ruthless.
Yeah.
Ruthless.
And I was following my dad, and he told me to stay just right on his ass because we were up in Denton. And because I was still a new driver, and that area is kind of unfamiliar. So I was gonna stay right on him. So then my dad blows the red. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna step on it. And then I pulled me over like that, gave me a ticket. So
was your dad proud you took one for the team?
yeah, he was. He's still like, yeah, that one's my fault, but your 4 other tickets after that one, those are on you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got pulled over the other day, but thankfully it was just a warning.
Yeah.
It was an obscured license plate.
Oh, really? You have a little plastic cover over it?
I had a cover on there, yeah, but
that's so lame. That is so lame. We've been pulled over for that numerous times.
Well, he couldn't get me on speed.
Yeah.
He didn't have his radar on, but he was like, I had to get up to 105 to catch up to you.
Oh, wow.
and that was up in Azle, where I'm living now.
Yeah.
So when I first bought it, it had this military green liquid wrap on it.
Oh, okay.
So it looked completely different. It looked really badass.
Yeah.
It was super cool. But it wasn't in the best shape. You could tell it was kind of fading in some areas. So I ended up peeling it all off, and then it was the factory color was white underneath, but it wasn't in super good shape. So I was going to repaint it black, and then just do some like racing stripes or something like that.
Right.
But then my dad convinced me to repaint it white, just do the regular factory white color. So I was just going to do some racing stripes on it. Just kind of look like a generic Camaro.
Yeah.
And then he just came to me one day. He was like, "Hey, why don't you put a Firebird on the hood?" I was like, "That might be cool."
Yeah.
That might be cool. So I looked into it, and I found one. You can buy them on Amazon.
Yeah.
They have some, but that was the one that was on there before. So the color wasn't exact. It wasn't as big as I wanted it to be.
Gotcha.
So we called my cousin's husband. I think it's like CNN Customs and Graphics. They're based out of Las Vegas.
Okay.
So he runs a vinyl shop in Las Vegas. So I had him custom make the bird that's on the hood right now. So everything is modeled after a 77 Firebird.
Gotcha.
So it's the exact same looking bird that you'd see on a 77.
Yeah.
And then I got the side decals and then the one on the back. But those were done by Firebird Central.
Okay.
Which is a company that does decals for real Firebird Trans Ams.
Gotcha.
So figured that they would fit. So I just ordered a couple of them and then slapped them on. And
well, I really like the colors too, like the gray and the black and the red inside the decals, especially on the white car.
Yeah.
And I think you posted on your page like the picture of your Camaro and then I think the 77, right?
Yep.
So I mean, it's just a really good contrast in the colors. I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. It's cool.
I'm kind of wishing that if back when I repainted it, I should have done black, so then I could do the Smokey and the Bandit,
Oh,
black
gotcha,
and gold.
the gold.
Yeah, the Fire Chicken. So
man,
that would have been cool.
Just my opinion, I feel like that's done so much already. I think that's why I like this, because it's different. You know, it's different than what most people do. You've seen the Trans Am with the blue. The blue, I think that's cool too, because again, it's a little bit different than what you normally see. Yeah. But yeah, that'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. So, are you gonna do like the full conversion? Is that the end game?
I mean, since I'm only 17, I don't have the capital to be able to do a full conversion. You can buy like a body kit for the conversion.
Gotcha.
So you don't actually have to get one done by any of those companies like the Hearst Trans Am. You can do it yourself, but I think the body kit's like $7,000. But you can buy individual pieces, so I was kind of thinking about doing like a fiberglass lip in the front, like in the middle of the grill, and then put like a Pontiac logo there to make it look a little bit more real.
Yeah, right?
But right now, I think I'm just going to keep it how it is.
Yeah.
I do, however, have my cousin's husband. What would you call him? Is he brother-in-law? Would he be considered brother-in-law?
Cousin's husband. Man, when it comes to family trees, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got my wife to keep me straight on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even
She
know.
helps me out.
Well, I texted her about getting some like 3-inch tall, just another couple copies of the bird.
Yeah.
So I can put on the quarter sail panels
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
to make it look
very cool.
a little bit more like
I didn't even think about that.
the real thing. So
Yeah.
that's as far as I'm probably going with it. I'm not doing too much with performance.
Yeah.
Just because it is an LT, so
Okay.
I'll worry about performance like when I upgrade to like an SS or something like that.
Gotcha.
But right now I just like how it looks visually.
Yeah.
But I do have some stuff. I had pretty much the basics. Like I have a cold air intake. I have a K&N filter in there. Fully straight piped exhaust, so it's loud.
Huh. When you pulled in, I have to say, for a straight pipe car, it didn't seem obnoxious like a lot of straight pipe cars are.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, before we started the podcast, we had come back from Eaton, and what was it? A mid-90s Mustang, and it was on the other side of the road, 4 lanes over, and he looks over. I'm like, oh my gosh, it sounded bad.
Yeah.
And it was a nice Mustang too, but it just sounded bad. I don't get the whole straight pipe thing for certain cars.
Yeah.
Certain cars. But yeah, it sounded good actually.
Yeah.
It sounded good for a straight pipe.
It's got pretty much just cats on it.
Okay.
Just cats. So I kind of want to take those off, but right now I like the way it sounds because at low RPM it sounds like an SS.
Yeah.
So if I keep it under 2,
Yeah.
then it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, there you go. A little slight rumble.
Yeah, got a good rumble to it. So
Very cool.
But yeah, I'm really liking it. I was looking at selling it. I was getting pretty close to kind of throwing it up out there and see what I can get for it. But I think I'm probably gonna hold on to it just because how used car market's looking right now.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Shit's expensive. So
and I've told my oldest this, and I'm gonna tell my youngest, like, your first car, there's just something about it. Like my first car was a '70 Chevelle, and back then they're not like they are today.
Mm-hmm.
People like, oh, Chevelles, like it wasn't a huge deal. Like they were cool, but not like they are today. They weren't as sought after. And that was my first car, and I'd gone through a couple motors, and then I ended up selling it after graduating high school, and I regret it. I regret it to this day. Like, I kind of wish I kept my first high school car. And so when I hear people like, and they're in their 50s and 60s, and they're like, oh, that's my high school car, I'm so envious. Like, dang, I wish I could turn back the clock and just keep that car. Even if I just kept it in storage, my parents' garage, it didn't matter. I didn't need to fix it up right away, but I just wish I would have kept my first car, So that's kind of my advice to anybody. If you have a cool car, if you love your first car, hang on to it. Even if you go get a daily and you just drive that, put your car away. Like it could be 20 years. Like who knows where you're going to be in 20 years? Like you could have a great paying job. You could have like loads of money, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna pull my high school Camaro out of storage, and I'm gonna build this thing.
Drop an LS in it.
I'm gonna throw $50,000 at it. You know what I mean? Like, and you always have that. That's my high school car. You know, because there's stories that come along with high school cars.
Oh yeah,
for sure. There's lots of memories with high school cars.
Yeah. Parking lot attendant didn't really care for my car.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of got on to me a couple times because it was funny because he would kind of, before COVID, he kind of monitored the parking lot a little bit more. And that was like, nobody's leaving. You can't leave for lunch. You can't, go about your business. The girls, they could they could drive off and kind of do their thing. But if
really,
some guy came by and he's like, "No, you got to go back in the building."
Wow.
But my car definitely stood out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't really care for it. He was always kind of looking for
playing
me. So.
favoritisms, huh? Dang.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's terrible. So is that the rule in high school now? Like you can't leave for lunch, or is that certain schools?
I don't think it's necessarily a rule. I think it was just him.
Okay.
Because I mean, when you're a senior, you get like senior release.
Gotcha.
So we got to leave a lot earlier than most of the other kids. So, like, and with COVID and like online school, he wasn't really looking to bus kids leaving because some kids had classes at home that they do online.
Gotcha.
Other sorts of stuff. So
yeah, because I know when we were in high school, when you had your last period before lunch, you were hauling butt to the parking lot, and we were all going somewhere for lunch. There was no restrictions on leaving. Yeah. So that's cool. So what have you done to the Camaro? You said you did K&N cool air intake. Any other performance mods?
I got it tuned at Speed Tech Performance.
Oh, okay. Over in Haltom City? Fort Worth?
Yeah, it's close to downtown Fort Worth.
Gotcha.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
I did, however, kind of feel like I didn't get my money's worth.
Okay.
Just because they had a C6 Corvette in front of me in line on the dyno.
Yeah.
And they probably took it was probably on there like 3 hours.
Gotcha.
It was on the dyno for a while, and then they were done with mine in like maybe 30 minutes. So I think.
And had you had a lot done to it, or?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think they really had to do a whole lot.
So just speaking from experience, unless you have a lot of different mods where they're having to change a lot.
Yeah.
So my truck that's sitting outside now, I kind of wanted a base tune, just kind of like see where it's at from the factory. Could we squeeze out a little bit more horsepower before we did any mods to it? Typically when it's something is relatively stock, it's super easy to tune, you know? But once you start throwing cams and heads and like all sorts of things, then they're having to just really spend 2 or 3 hours, you know?
That's true.
So I can see where you're coming from. 3 hours, 30 minutes. Oh, I don't know if I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
But probably different platforms.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can kind of see that. So.
And they put it on the dyno?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I got some video of it. It was loud.
Was it?
It was, yeah. I was taking video, and you can see me kind of jump and shake when they hit the gas. So, yeah.
Have you done anything to it suspension wise?
No, it's all stock suspension.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really. Everyone tells me to put it on like coils or something, just kind of lower it because it's still on stock ride height.
Yeah.
But I used to have a different front end, so I had an SS front end on there. But I cracked it. I got into kind of like a little fender bender.
Gotcha.
And it had a front splitter on there, so it made it kind of look like it had a little lower profile.
Gotcha.
So it kind of looked like it stood a little lower to the ground, and it would scrape all the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like the front splitter.
Yep.
But now that I have that off, don't really scrape, but it looks a lot higher up off the ground.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not looking to throw any more money at it because it's already cost quite a bit in repairs. Because I had an issue with like the engine overheating because I was a salesman for ADT Home Security.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I was driving around a lot, and that was back about a year ago. I was working for them. So putting like 150 miles on my car every day, I noticed that it wasn't too good for it. So kind of noticed this overheating problem, which I spent quite a bit on because I couldn't really figure out what it was.
Yeah.
And then just some minor stuff to fix.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm happy with where it is right now, and
that's all that matters.
Probably,
as long as you're happy with it, man.
I like the way it
Point
looks.
A to point B, it looks good. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
You don't have to dump a bunch of money into it. So, and then cosmetically, I see it's got a rear spoiler. You got the decals on it.
Yep.
Fresh paint. Anything else you do to it?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Just the decals and how everything looks on the outside. So.
All right.
I get a lot of older guys that They like it. They think they think it's pretty cool. Some kids my age, they think it might be.
Well, they don't get it.
But
they don't get it. You know, what's a Trans Am?
Yeah. Like, all right.
Hadn't seen one of those.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. I love it. It's a good daily.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future I'll look to. I was either looking at getting a sports bike or probably like a fun weekend car.
Yeah.
I was kind of looking at like a C4 Corvette, like a 91. Or just something kind of like that. Something older, maybe a third gen Camaro, like an 85, like an IROC. Right.
That'd be cool.
So I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, mullets are coming back, man. You know,
I just cut mine off.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah. I had because here in about 2 weeks I'll be working at Autobahn BMW.
Oh, nice.
Over in Fort Worth.
Nice.
So I had to cut the mullet off. To look a little bit more professional.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But my prom pictures and my grad pictures, I still got the mullet.
Yeah.
So now I can tell my kids that I had a mullet in high school.
There you go.
Yeah. It was good.
Rocking a mullet and the IROC Z, man.
Yeah.
Rock and roll music,
right.
T-tops off. You got it. You're set.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I listened to because when I was always kind of into cars.
Yeah.
I was like a little kid, but didn't really get into the car scene.
Yeah.
Until like about a year ago.
Okay.
Dream car was always like either like a 65 or a 68 fastback.
Okay.
Mustang.
Yeah.
So and the app that I use for music, I have a main playlist with all my music.
Yeah.
And it's called the Fastback Mix.
Gotcha.
So that was like when I was little, I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this playlist when I have my 65 Mustang or I got a fastback. So hopefully at some point, which I think some of the 65s, you can get them pretty cheap. You can find some under 10 grand.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, I might honestly look at that, getting one of those, maybe fixing it up with my dad or something.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Where's your dad live? Close by?
Yeah. So I'm living with them right now over in a rental in Azle.
Gotcha.
Because he's building a house out there.
Gotcha.
We just moved from Colleyville, kind of in the city, to
out
in the country.
Wow, that's a move.
Yeah,
that's a move.
So, but yeah, he's building his dream house that he's going to retire in, and then we're just in a rental there for now. And then in a couple months, I'll be getting an apartment with one of my buddies down in Fort Worth.
Nice. Did Dad get a little land? Are you guys going to build a shop or anything?
He is going to have a big garage, but his thing is he's not into cars as much as I am.
Okay.
He's got a bus. So,
he's got a bus?
Yeah, he has a big 45-foot American coach.
Oh, nice. They like to travel, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. They
very cool.
Love that thing.
Yeah.
I don't as much. I'd rather him have a Porsche because I was mainly the reasons he had to give up his Porsches.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he used to have a lot.
Yeah.
He's really into Porsches. I think he's gonna get like a 993 slant nose. When he retires. But
well, tell him I've got a buddy selling a 944 LS swapped.
Really?
And I mean it's pretty bad.
Did you guys post it?
I posted a picture on my page.
Okay, because I remember
it's
seeing
black, like a peanut butter interior, tan. Mm-hmm. And my buddy went through this entire thing, front to back, top to bottom.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he's got way more money into it than he'll ever get out of it.
Yeah.
So, but LS swapped, 5-speed. I mean, it is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
I remember seeing something about an LS swap 944.
Yeah.
That was another car I wanted to get.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was looking at getting a 944. I really wanted a red one with a black interior, like the one from 16 Candles.
Oh my God. I brought that up the other day to somebody and they're like, 16 Candles? What is that? And I'm like, bro, you don't remember like the Breakfast Club and like all these like cult classics?
Yeah.
Obviously, he was much younger than I, but I mean, you're 17, you know the movie.
Yeah.
So that's
awesome.
Wild.
Molly Ringwald.
That is wild, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember that dude like just posted up on his car, right? She came out like the next morning or something, and he was standing there, posted up against the red 944, yeah.
Thompson twins playing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's cool.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
But that would be a cool car to have.
That would be.
I think that'd be awesome. So
Well, when I get it back, so I'm helping my buddy sell it. So it was in here, and that's where I took the picture. And then we're having a few little things done to it. It comes back here. We do a quick detail on it. I'll take some pictures, but I'll invite you over to come take a look at it.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it's cool.
That's awesome.
So I drove it for the first time the other day, and man, it's pretty
quick.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's driving like a little go-kart, LS powered. I mean, it's pretty nice.
Well, I mean, because they didn't weigh a whole lot, did they?
No. I'm just shooting in the dark here, so I'm sure I'm probably wrong, but I mean, we're talking like 3,000 pounds, maybe, like if that. So there's not a lot to them, you know.
This one's like 37. I think it's like 37 pounds. 38.
Yeah. And this thing is huge.
It's huge.
Compared to when I had the Porsche, I'm like, that might be the smallest car we've ever had in here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And my dad's kind of a bigger guy, so I don't. And he's like, I always tell him that he should get a sports car. And he's like, I'm too big, I can't fit in them. But then he wants to get like an 80s or 90s Porsche. Like,
Oh, listen,
tiny.
I shoehorned myself into that Porsche, but it wasn't as small as I thought it would be because you look at the overall size of the car and you're like, oh, this is going to be really uncomfortable. But it wasn't terrible. Do I see myself driving it every day, getting in and out? No. But I thought I was just going to be all like bunched up, and I wasn't. And I'm a big guy, you know. So, but no, it was more comfortable than I thought. Surprisingly.
That's cool.
So
when I was first looking at getting my first car, I went and test drove an '85 Corvette.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So, and it was like they were selling it for like $5,000.
Yeah.
It was really, really cheap. I mean, the condition of it reflected that.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
Yeah.
It was fun to drive.
Yeah.
So, that was really fun. But I just wish that I could go back to that time. Because like when my dad talks about like the cars that like him and his friends had. And, Because he's Canadian. He grew up in Canada.
Okay.
And he started working on oil rigs when he was 15.
Gotcha.
So they all made pretty good money.
Right.
And he got into it through my aunt's husband at the time, Barry. And he had a 78 Trans Am.
Nice.
Firebird with the big drag tires on the back and the side dump exhaust.
There you go.
So his was all souped up, had a big cam in it, chopped like you could hear it from down the block. So he told me about that, and I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's cool to hear about kind of older guys' cars that they used to have back in the day.
Yeah.
Those are all the cars that I wish that I could drive.
Yeah. You're like an old soul, man.
I am.
You really are. Yeah. You talk about like driving most I say kids because I'm old, but most teenagers, 17 years old, would never look at an 85 Corvette. They're like, what? IROC? They're just not into that stuff. But it's cool. It's cool that you like the older stuff.
Yeah, those are all my dream cars.
Yeah,
I love those.
Yeah,
awesome.
And and what's nice is they're still available. They're not like Chevelles and older Camaros where they're just almost unattainable because the prices have gone up. You could still pick up an IROC for a decent amount, or even a mid '80s Corvette for sure. So yeah, there's still some desirable rides out there. So that's cool.
like mid oil crisis, all those cars you can find those pretty cheap.
Yeah.
They didn't pack as much punch as some of the older models.
Yeah.
But
and then you look under the hood and you're like, there's got to be like 50 vacuum lines in here.
Yeah.
I used to pull apart a lot of the mid 80s, like G bodies, S10s, Camaros and stuff. And man, you'd have to take pictures of stuff. You're like, where does all this go? These vacuum lines. It was over the top, Yeah. It was pretty wild. So
cool.
Well, man, we talked about your car for a little bit and some other stuff. Let's talk about the car scene. So I know how we originally connected was through Texas Show Promoters, obviously, and we were promoting a car meet, Lola Car Club, which I found out today that you're no longer part of, which was news to me. So maybe tell us more about that if you want to.
Yeah. So Lola, it's like I consider it my baby.
Yeah.
So it was started by my buddy probably a little over a year ago. We had, like, me and a couple other people were the original members. We had a logo that I think one of his family members or one of his friends made up. We had the logo and an Instagram. That was pretty much the extent of the club. So we kind of got just some of our friends involved in it, and didn't really do a whole lot. Like, we weren't hosting meets or anything. But he came to me and he's like, "Hey, can you take over? Because I got a lot of stuff going on right now. This is kind of stressful." So he just asked me to kind of take over. So I was like, "Okay, we're gonna get the meet set up. I'm gonna drum up a flyer. We're gonna take this thing to the next level."
Yeah.
So our first meet, like maybe 10 cars.
Yeah.
It was all just like kind of our friends. So we would use Park Up Front to post the meet and just have people register, because it kind of was like a shot of dopamine when we'd see, like, a name pop up.
Get you excited.
Someone registered. Yeah. So, we don't know them.
Yeah.
So we used them to kind of market and branch off, and then heard about you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I made all the flyers that we had for all sorts of different stuff, whether it was like a meet or like a photo shoot that we did. I did all the flyers and pretty much all of the marketing that went into Lola Car Club. So then we started going with you guys. You guys were kind of help promoting the flyers, which helped significantly.
Yeah.
We started seeing a lot more traction at the meets when we started, when you guys started posting the flyers. So we were having them in like Northwich and Hills area, like off of Roof Snow, if anybody knows where that is.
Yeah.
Northwich and Hills PD, they don't really care for car meets that much. So they were getting pretty good. We were getting more and more traction every week, like 60, 70, 80, 100 cars.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon had vendors coming. So we had like Frio's Colleyville.
Yeah.
Emily was great. You guys should check out their Instagram. So they were selling like popsicles. They had like these really nice like gourmet popsicles.
Yeah,
so it was cool. We felt accomplished. Like we did this. So then we kind of moved all over DFW trying out different spots and locations. And then we started kind of getting in touch with sponsors. So right now they're sponsored with N2 Luxuries. So they're a local detailing brand.
Yep.
And then we had one company make our like decals and kind of redesign our logo. So we had the logo redesign, and that was by Swan Vinyl Works. So he's based up in Allen, I think.
Yeah.
So he was great.
I think you're the second guest to mention Swan Vinyl Works.
Yeah.
Here in the last couple weeks, actually. So yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard that name before. So.
He's great. He does really good quality vinyl work. So he redesigned the logo for us, what it is now, and then did the windshield banners that we have for members.
Gotcha.
So that was kind of like your entry fee.
Yeah.
You had to like get a banner. So we were growing pretty steadily.
Yeah.
I think when I left, we had like about 20 members. Big group chat with everybody. Everyone was, really well oriented with everybody. And, it was really like a family. Car meets were going good. We were getting a lot more. We were hosting them over in Euless. So didn't have any issues with cops. Nobody doing any stupid stuff. No burnouts. No nothing. So
that's good.
They were going pretty good, but
good.
Just kind of had some personal disagreements.
Disagreements
with the current leader. But I'm looking forward to see if they take it anywhere past where it is now, which I haven't really seen it grow that much, but we'll see in the future.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, man. Sometimes that happens, and I'm personally a big believer in everything happens for a reason. Like whatever it is, good, bad, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it happened, You moving out to Azle, who knows? Maybe you start something up there by yourself, and
I feel like it really was a blessing in disguise, because after that I was kind of able to focus on more important stuff, like kind of being an adult.
listen, you know how much time we spend on TSP behind the scenes and hosting and all that stuff. And I probably would never do this, but as the page grew, there were times, and anybody who followed me, you know, for the last 4 or 5 years, there were times, or even from the beginning, there were times where I would have to take a month off. Like I was like, I mean, job, kids, work, business, adulting, you know. I'm like, I'm just posting here. I'm just sharing events. It became a full-time job. And so there was probably 3 or 4 times where I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, I need to sign off and I need to take a break.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I had that happen a couple times. Usually it was just about a week, because obviously we're not working with the same amount of volume as you guys. But yeah, there was a couple times just because I was pretty much doing everything by myself. Yeah. It got kind of stressful at some points.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
It is a lot of work. And you know, there's tons and tons and tons of people out there. If you've never put on an event, if you've never hosted a meet, it's easy to show up and just like, oh, it's a parking lot. It's no big deal. But the amount of time it takes to meet with a manager, a business owner, lock in the spot, you know, coordinate with everybody, have your team there, like it's time, you know, making the flyers. Like, I mean, it's a lot of time.
Yeah. I put a ton into it, especially money wise, because we were kind of working with doing some merchandise. Right. I probably dumped the most amount of money into Lola, whether it was like our t-shirts or hoodies or like decals, something like that. So I was always kind of the test dummy with new stuff, because I was the one willing to spend money on it because I cared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cared about the club,
That's cool, man. That's cool.
But yeah.
So, well, hopefully you'll start something on your own, or, you know, join another club, and, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So what would you say are some of your favorite, like, car meets or even car shows that you've attended?
Obviously ours.
Yeah.
Kind of a biased opinion. But I really liked Field Up. I know that you kind of started Field Up. Those were always awesome.
Yeah.
I remember there was one month I went, there was like 600 cars.
Yeah.
So that was always really cool to see. A lot of the kind of nightly meets were really fun, like midnight meets. We've kind of worked with them in the past doing kind of like coordinated meets. Pretty much, I don't really go to a whole lot of meets right now. Yeah. But I did go to a lot of Park Up Front shows, like Cantina. Right. Cars and Coffee. Yeah. I did a lot at the Cars and Coffee South Lake. Yeah. So yeah, I'd pretty much just go in there, check and see what was going on, or go on TSP and see whatever you guys posted, see what's going on that night. Yeah. So yeah.
So who has the most events?
Definitely you guys. Man, by a long shot.
Yeah, you mentioned Fueled Up before, so people watching, right? We had an off-camera conversation earlier, and most people don't know this, but Park Up Front and TSP had actually worked together at one point in time, and the whole Fueled Up meet was like my brainchild. Like I brought that up to Park Up Front. I came up with the name. And, you know, a few months in, I personally just pulled out, and I said, guys, we're just not meant to work together. They have their views on the car community. I have my views on the car community. And, you know, I wish them all the best. Yeah. And there's a lot more behind that story, but we're just going to leave it at that. Yep. So, but,
they're definitely geared more towards like the supercar.
There are. It's
nothing wrong with that.
There isn't. Yeah. There isn't at all. And, you know, being in tune with the car community, I see, you know, a lot. They're doing a lot of events. You know, a lot. They mentioned something the other day about cars in the soccer Toyota. Is it over in Frisco? The Toyota Arena or the stadium or something like that?
I never heard.
So they're doing something cars and soccer related. They had cars and kicks with the sneakers. They're doing cars and cantina. The South Lake Cars and Coffee. I mean, So they're into a lot of different things, whereas we aren't so much doing the events ourselves. We're more focused on helping other people grow their events.
Yeah.
And because Park Up Front and us had a falling out, or me just having disagreements in how things were being done, you know, those are probably the only events that I don't go out of my way to support, you know. And that's probably the first time I've ever like mentioned that on camera or even talked about that. But I mean, that's the truth. That is the truth. Some people know the story, and you know, like I said, we'll leave it at that. But I wish them all the best. And one thing I will say, there's plenty of auto enthusiasts to go around. I mean, there absolutely is. You know, we get a lot of strange DMs or inquiries, and they're like, hey, you know, our meet is on the same night as their meet, or they're using our location. I'm like, guys, like, this really?
You got to
like,
deal with it.
Are we arguing about this? Why don't you guys contact each other and have a meet together? How about that? Like, there's plenty of people to go around. So don't be bitter about somebody like using your spot or, you know, this and that. We should all be united, right? We should all come together, grow the community, and stop worrying about what this person's doing or this person, you know. So it is what it is. That's my opinion anyway. So
yeah, there was definitely times where we had to kind of compete with other meets that were going on that night.
I'm sure.
One of them was Full Throttle.
Yeah.
Full Throttle. We had to kind of fight with them a couple times just because they had good meets. They had It didn't seem like they had really big meets, but the cars that they had were awesome. Yeah. They had a really cool selection of cars. Yeah. But I think there is a pretty big divide between supercar car guys and then just regular car guys.
For sure.
Because I mean, a lot of guys who, you know, are able to make enough to be able to afford those supercars, they keep them kind of garaged and don't take them out a little bit.
I agree.
But the only, like, in my opinion, the only real, like, you know, car guy that is able to have all these cars is Tim Gilliam. Yeah. Because he actually takes them out and drives them, and they don't just sit in the garage. Yeah. Because I was talking to Richard from Park Up Front Security. Yeah, he came to one of Lola's meets one night. So
Richard's
cool.
Richard's a good dude.
Yeah.
Richard's a good dude.
We kind of had mixed opinions about him because he's always yelling at people to get off the sidewalk or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
But when you actually talk to him, he's a super cool guy. Yeah. But I had the chance to talk to him about Tim and his cars, and he was talking about a story with when he got the Chiron, the Bugatti.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So he flew overseas in his jet to go pick it up, had it shipped back to the States, and then landed with it at the airport, got back there I think 5 or 6 in the morning. Yeah. He's like, all right, well, Cars and Cantina's going on right now. I'm going to take it to Cantina. Yeah. So he literally drove it from the airport straight to the meet. Nice. So, and I've had the chance to talk to him a couple times. He's pretty nice, but it's rare to see someone with like that inventory of cars. Yeah. Actually enjoying them and kind of showing them off, and which is what they're really meant for.
I agree. But I feel like in the daytime meets are great. The early morning meets are great. Like I was a big fan of the BMW Cars and Coffee that went on for a decade. Yeah. One of my favorite go-to events. But I don't know. There's something about the evening meets. I feel like that's where, and I don't want to say real enthusiasts come out. I don't want to say that. Because real enthusiasts obviously go to Cars and Cantina, Cars and Coffee. They do. But there's just something about the evening time meets. They tend to be more popular, and there's more of them, you know. Yeah. There's not a lot of like Saturday and Sunday car meets like during the day. It's rare. Yeah. But overall, man, it's like the car community in Texas is great. You know, being from California, I always thought like California was the capital of cars and all that stuff. I disagree. Having been here for as long as I have and started TSP, you know, a little over 6 years ago, and seeing what Texas has to offer and seeing how big the car community here is. Yeah. I mean, we even have stuff here that California doesn't have, you know. not in large capacity like donks or slabs. Like, you know, that's a Houston thing.
Yeah.
Do you see that in California? You know,
Yeah.
lowrider community is huge in California. It is here too. But you know, imports, classics. I mean, we have it all. Trucks, my gosh, Jeeps and trucks. I think we got the market cornered on Jeeps and trucks here. I mean, it's overwhelming.
I got kind of sick of seeing North Texas Jeep Club stickers everywhere.
They're everywhere. I mean, but that's good. They're a huge club, you know. So, but yeah, it's a great community, and like I said, it would be better if we all worked together.
Right.
You know,
it's cool that you bring up the California car scene, because my aunt and uncle, they both work in the film industry.
Yeah.
So he's a prop master for Disney Studios.
Oh, nice.
My uncle.
Nice.
So I've gotten to go up there and kind of tour the lot with him and just kind of check it out behind
the scenes. That must have been cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, he's working on Blackish.
Okay.
The show, and then the spin-off Grownish. I don't really watch it, but they are coming back for season 5. Which I can confirm, which is not in the news yet.
Yeah.
So a little bit of
inside information.
But one thing that me and him would do, which was like kind of a tradition, is at night we would go to all the car dealerships in kind of like Beverly Hills, the LA area.
Man, you must have seen some sweet rides.
Oh yeah. So we'd go to all those dealerships. So we'd go to McLaren, Rolls-Royce, Porsche, and then some of the other classic dealerships.
Yeah.
So I was up there this summer visiting them, helping them move, because they're moving back to Utah. So I was helping them move, but we also got to get some vacation time in. So we went to the McLaren dealership first. So they had the Elva. They had a McLaren Elva in the showroom, which was cool, because I saw one in Houston.
Okay.
And then one there. There's only 50 of them ever made in the world.
Gotcha.
And then I saw that there was another one at Cantina.
Okay.
Like last week, I think. Yeah. So that was cool to see. They had the Speedtail, McLaren Speedtail in there. And then they had a Bugatti Chiron and then a 918 Spider. Nice. So that's probably my dream car right now.
Yeah.
The 918 Spider.
Yeah. That's a cool car.
Yeah. So I kind of like it all. I like a little bit of JDM. Yeah. Mainly American muscle. Right. But then also supercars. That's cool. That's my thing. So very cool. Yeah, I got to see a lot of cool cars. There was a Pagani dealership in Beverly Hills. Yeah. Had one Pagani. Yeah. All the rest of the cars in there was other stuff. They had Porsches, they had Ferraris, Lamborghinis. So that was kind of weird. Yeah. To just see one. They had one Huayra in the Pagani dealership. Interesting. So, yeah. Interesting. It's definitely cool seeing all those. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's change gears a little bit. I want to find out more information about like what got you into cars. I mean, you're 17 years old now. Mm-hmm. So was there somebody at an early age that had an influence on your life, like your dad maybe? I know you mentioned your dad having like Porsches and stuff. Mm-hmm. So is that something you grew up around, and is that something that got you into cars? Yeah. So I was never actually old enough or even born yet to be able to see my dad's Porsches. Oh, okay. I got you. Because he said they had a Cayenne, but he said I'd throw up in it all the time, so they had to sell it. But yeah, he really likes 911s, so he's had a couple of those. I think he had like a 94 C4S, and then he had a couple of other ones. But yeah, I can't remember all the ones he had. But yeah, he's always kind of been into Porsches. I don't really know exactly what got me into cars. Mm-hmm. It might have just been when I moved here. I kind of got into, like, 5th grade, I was really into the Beatles. Okay. Still am. Yeah. Beatles, awesome. Goes back to that old soul, like I was saying. Yeah. Yeah. Big Beatles fan. I know, like, that's awesome. Every word, every song. That's awesome. Yeah, I had the mop top and everything, so I guess that kind of got me into, like, the 65, like, the 60s era, and kind of looking at the Mustang and everything. Right. And then just kind of branched from there. Just always loved the sound of like a American V8. Yeah. And just kind of branched from there. But getting into the car scene and figuring out about car meets, it was really just one of my friends that I've known all from like elementary, like 5th grade when I moved here, all the way to now. Gotcha. he just kind of invited me one time. He's like, "You want to go car meet?" I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
Never been to one, and I thought it was awesome. Just
Yeah.
super cool seeing all these cars roll in, all different kinds, and I was like, "This is really cool." Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what got me into it.
That's awesome. So I don't think I asked you before, but how did you come across this car? What made you buy this particular vehicle?
So it's a pretty funny story.
Yeah.
So I was going to go halvesies on my first car with my dad.
Okay.
So my budget was probably right around like $5,000 for a car. And right before I bought this, I was looking at a 91 Camaro.
Okay.
So it was still that third gen, that look. Had a big V8 in it, started right up. It was awesome. Headliner wasn't even there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't really care. It sounded cool.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing I cared about was having a V8.
Yeah.
But then after we kind of looked at it, he's like, I'd really rather use something in a little better safety features. So then he's like,
the whole parent kicked in.
Yeah.
Need some airbags.
I was like, damn it. So he kind of wanted to help out a little bit more. So he's like, I'll tell you what, I'll up your budget to about $10,000 and then kind of look and see what you can get. So the next day, found this car on OfferUp. Had the military green wrap on it, had decals on it, still had the same wing as from when I bought it, and I was like, that's it. That's what I want. That's really cool. There was a little bit of damage. He was hit by a semi in a parking lot, just kind of scraped the driver's side fender.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of scraped a little bit, nothing terrible, no frame damage or anything like that. And then the windshield was cracked.
Gotcha.
So, but it looked pretty good. I was in school, so my dad went up to Denton to go test drive it. And he was like, runs and drives good. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it was, it had a muffler delete when I bought it.
Gotcha.
But it was completely stock when I bought it, besides the muffler delete. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So he went up to the kid's parents' house, paid them. They're the original owners. They bought it brand new when it came out in 2010, so they had it over like 10 years. So that was his mom's car, which became his first car.
Gotcha.
So it was kind of a cool transition from his car to now being my first car.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was kind of emotional for him to kind of see me drive away with it.
Yeah.
But it was cool. And then, 3 minutes after that, I get the ticket.
Yeah, right.
Get pulled over for running the red light. So
still blaming that one on Dad, though.
Yep. Yeah, that was. Yeah. He takes credit for it. He's like, yeah, that one's my fault, but the 4 other tickets are on you. So But
so being in the car scene, is there any like influencers or like YouTubers or anybody that like you like? Any favorites?
Donut Media is really cool to watch.
Yeah.
I've watched a couple of your guys' YouTube videos. I don't think there's a whole lot of car related YouTubers I watch. I kind of just watch a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
So I watch like Chris Fix, Doug DeMuro is cool to watch.
Gotcha.
Scotty Kilmer. A lot of people don't really like Scotty Kilmer, but I think he's pretty funny. He might not know what he's talking about at some points, but I think he's funny. Rev up your engines. But yeah, he's really cool. I like watching him. So and then just kind of various kind of car shows. Maple Motors is really cool. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
No, I haven't.
They're a dealership in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
So they have a YouTube channel and they sell classic cars.
Oh, okay.
So their whole lot, it's all like classic cars, and they're all fairly decently priced. Yeah. So they shoot a lot of YouTube videos with like showing off the cars, like startup and like they test drive them and everything. So I just watched one they did on a '79 Trans Am.
Okay.
It didn't have the bird on it.
Yeah.
But that was cool.
Yeah.
To see, just to hear that sound of the V8 was awesome, which makes me really want one now. So maybe in the future I'll get I'll get like maybe a project car or something, something a little older like that.
That'd be cool, man.
To drive.
That'd be cool.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Question for you in regards to being in the car scene and stuff. What suggestions would you have for somebody like just starting out, customizing a car, getting into the scene?
I would say just go to meets and talk to people. Don't be timid, because you can go up to anyone and they'll talk to you. They'll be friendly, because everyone's generally pretty friendly in the car scene. If you're just getting into it, it's pretty welcoming. Hopefully there's not too many people that'll kind of shit on your build, but you do get some of those kind of people.
Course.
But I do get a lot of them with this.
Yeah.
A lot of people my age, but it's a great community to get into, especially first modding your car. Obviously, I haven't done a whole lot besides visual to mine.
Sure.
I'm not super mechanically inclined. Like, I couldn't install a supercharger or something like that. I could do kind of basic maintenance myself.
Yeah.
But I guess just kind of watch videos, learn to work on your car yourself. It'll save you a lot of money. But besides that, just have fun, hit a couple meets. Obviously, follow Texas Show Promoters to see what's going on in the area. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
What about hosting a meet? Any advice for guys out there wanting to start a meet? That's not a question I've been able to ask any guests, because most of them just been car guys, never hosted a meet. So
yeah, it definitely takes time. I would definitely know with Lola.
Yeah.
Promoting them. So I guess just try to make it look as official as possible.
Yeah.
Don't make it look like some rinky-dink meet that's in the Target parking lot at 8:30 at night.
Right.
Give it a little more pizzazz. Make the flyers got to look appealing. Don't just throw a bunch of random pictures of cars on it and then some crazy big text. I kind of learned that from experience. Just kind of like from the first flyer I made. Looks a hell of a lot different than the last flyer I made.
Sure.
So.
Now, do you just use your phone, like an app on your phone and stuff?
Yeah, I just use an app on my phone. I'd get either take pictures that I took at the meet and then put those as the background, or I would try different stuff, positioning it, and kind of get inspiration from different flyers. Not completely rip them off, but just kind of get different fonts and where to place things and everything. So just kind of learned as I did it. I really don't have any experience in marketing or design, anything.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's amazing what a flyer can do.
Yeah.
We get sent in a ton of flyers, and some of them are a little surprising. Like, they're rough, and I don't know that people are going to gravitate towards that. Like you said, there needs to be a certain level of professionalism, details, have all the details on the flyer. Like, AM, PM, the address. Like, there's certain details that just need to be on the flyer. But yeah, making them nice and welcoming to the eye, I guess, it makes a huge difference. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
it does. I noticed after a little bit, you guys, I didn't even have to ask you guys to post it, because we'd ask you like every week to post the flyer, and then I started noticing like, oh, I didn't text TSP, but they posted it. So that felt really good. Yeah. That was like, okay, we made it.
I think with some, when we see a rhythm, like, like this is a weekly thing, there are sometimes, and kudos to my son, Nick, who basically runs the whole social media part of it right now, as far as Instagram and Facebook and stuff. But he'll follow up to events like, hey, are you having your event this Friday? We didn't see a post. Because he'll remember, like, and I haven't been doing it for so long, since I had somebody before Nick start doing this, handling the social media, and then Nick took it over. So I'm not into tune with all the weekly and all the events and stuff. But man, I will tell you, there are some where it is weekly, so it's like he gets it. Oh, we're just gonna go and post this because we know it's every Friday or every Wednesday or every Tuesday, whatever. So it becomes second nature. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's done a great job with managing the Instagram, because I mean, what are you at, like 60,000 followers, I think?
I think 63 right now.
A little bit more?
Yeah, little over 60. So, and You know, it's hard to grow the page because here's the biggest issue we have. We are not a niche page, meaning we don't cater to just trucks. We don't cater to just Jeeps or imports or muscle cars or exotics, right?
Yeah.
And the social media platform, even though we do have a hashtag system and where you can look at the calendar, you can look at, you know, the city, you can look at the month and all that stuff. Like, people can look that up. Yeah. Do you even know about it?
No, I didn't know that.
So for people watching right now, if you follow Texas Show Promoters and you're on Instagram or even Facebook, it's so simple, but we've been doing it for probably about 3 or 4 years. If you want to search Instagram or Facebook, you literally, in the search bar at the top, there's a little magnifying glass. And again, it works on Facebook. You can put in hashtag TSP. It's always going to start with TSP first, but today is August 10th, right? So you put in August 102021. Everything we have posted for that day, if you search that hashtag, comes up. Yeah. So the problem with the feed is, let's say you're in Austin, right? And you're like, God, I'm just going through this feed and all you're seeing is Houston, Dallas, Houston, Dallas. Well, it's the 2 largest metropolitan areas in the entire state of Texas. So of course, that's where most of the stuff is going to happen. But we do post in El Paso. We do post in San Antonio, Austin, you know, all over Texas. Yeah. So you can even search hashtag TSP Austin, right? And everything for Austin comes up. But the trick with Austin, or looking up a city, is there's a button at the top and it says recent, right? Once you pull up TSP Austin, TSP Houston, whatever you want to look up, you have to click recent. Because what Instagram does is it takes the most popular posts and brings them all the way to the top. Doesn't bring the most recent. So if you see TSP Austin and you click on it, you're like, oh, that was like in 2019, but it was a popular meet and a lot of people liked it. But if you click recent, then everything that we recently posted will be at the top. Yeah. But we do that for the year. We do that for the month, day. Like, you can literally plan weeks, months ahead. You can even go back if you're a host to an event and you're like, hey, how much did TSP help us out? You can literally go back and go, oh, we had an event February 15th, 2019. Let me check to see how much TSP posted for us. You can look that up. And I think it would be very surprising for some of these event hosts to look that up and see how much we actually help them. Yeah. It's surprising. It is very surprising. But a lot of people don't know about that hashtag system, you know?
I never knew that.
And we do it on every single event we post. Like, when I first started, we didn't do it. I didn't even think about it. And one of the biggest complaints was people going through the feed. And you would click on multiple events and it's like, oh, Austin, Houston, and you wouldn't find what you were looking for. And this is why it's hard for our page to grow, is because I think people maybe get a little frustrated and then they unfollow. Yeah. So it's mind-boggling, but we might gain 300 people, 350 a month, but we lose about 150, which is, it's a lot of people to lose, you know? So it is a struggle to grow the page. I mean, we've been at it for a little over 6 years, hence 63,000 people. 10,000 a year, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. And there's 30 million people in Texas. Yeah. And a lot of those people are into cars. They go to car shows, they're family, orientated. Yep. So, one of the things that we would like to do is certainly grow the page, grow the reach, get more people involved. The car community is not going anywhere. And even young guns like yourself, man, you're getting into cars and, you're going to have kids and they're going to be into cars and they're going to have, you know what I mean? So it's just cool. It's just cool. Well, I feel like we've covered everything. We talked about your car. We talked about the car scene. We talked a little bit about what got you into cars. So, Preston, appreciate having you on, man. It was a blast.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Hope you've enjoyed our podcast. If you like to watch the video version and see the details of Preston's Camaro, make sure to check out our YouTube channel, Texas Show Promoters. Join our other 80,000 supporters and follow, subscribe, or like Texas Show Promoters on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. If you have a custom vehicle, live in the DFW area, and would like to share your story, please let us know. We'd love to have you on. Peace, guys.